sure that we're live here with everybody and making sure that you guys can see us out there as we get started. Apologies for that. Looks like we went live a second early. So we're about 5 minutes early, Cam.
Hey, why not? Let's be spontaneous, right?
Hey, you never know what's going to happen when you're live. And we are live from Exchange 2025. And I have a good friend here, Cam. How are you doing, brother?
Doing awesome, man. It's been a good week. Lots of learning, lots of engaging, great partners. Yeah, it's been awesome.
You know, it's always interesting when you see the events that are in the space these days and how many wonderful folks you get to meet. And, you know, I drove down here to come and be a part of this. And again, shout out to Exchange for allowing us to be able to broadcast live from the event. But it's just been an honor to see so many wonderful folks have interesting conversations about the future of managed services. And, you know, last night we were talking a little bit about what the future looked like, but we also even had a little bit of fun. We got into some pie last night.
You took us to the House of Pies, which is a gym if you're in Houston. So you got to go.
It was definitely a good time. And, you know, it brings me to the moment, again, why I'm so excited about today. And Cam, I want to say thank you guys because, you know, obviously, as SuperOps, we are super excited to be partnering with you and also making sure that, you know, everybody that's out there, the reason we want to do this LinkedIn Live was to talk a little bit about the partnership between SuperOps and ESAT. Yeah. And so, you know, we think about, you know, the things and the conversations that we've been having over the last couple of days with some of the partners. One of the big things and the theme that we've heard a lot about is modern value equations and the ways that MSPs are finding value and why they're here and the way that they're thinking about operating their business in the future. And I look to the synergy behind what we've created, right? And the reason why we talked and one of the main reasons behind it was we see that MSPs are looking to do things smarter, better, faster, quicker, more profitable. And they're looking to see how not only can I generate value from my own business and profitability, but how do I generate value for my customers? And we're going to talk through some of that today. And I'm really, 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 really excited to kind of have that conversation with you guys because you guys are doing a great job over there. And I look forward to really having that conversation. So for those of you guys that are out here that are having joining us here today, do me a favor. If you got any questions, make sure that you ping us in the chat. We're here live, so anything that you ask is going to come up here, and we definitely want to get to some of those comments. And we want to say thank you guys for being a part of this and making sure that you're jumping in here with us. But at the same token, I want to make sure that all of you, just let us know where you're from, because this is all about you. The whole reason that we decided to partner and the whole reason behind this live stream and all of its wonderful live aspects is because we're doing this to make sure that we bring value to you. So let us know how that's working out. And if you guys are finding value in this conversation, throw some likes in the chat. So let's talk about it, Cam. You know, here we are, top of the hour. We're excited to be having the conversation, announcing for the first time a partnership between SuperOps and ESAT. And that partnership is an integration partnership. And I know for many of the MSPs that are out there, they're probably thinking, okay, what's special about this, Juan? Why are we doing this? Like, you know, obviously you're making it, you know, you're putting it out on social media, and what's the whole point behind it? And I think that, you know, when you think about the conversations and the ways that you operate your business as a managed service provider, you know, you have to be thinking about ways that you are generating value for your business. So when we at SuperOps look at how we present and create value inside of our platform, we're looking at our partnerships very strategically. And we're looking at the things that, A, number one, our MSPs are asking for. B, we're looking at how does this work internally to the organization? How are we saving them time? How are we creating, you know, better uses of time? How are we activating inside of their businesses? But also, how are we translating that value to their customer? And so when we sat down with ESAT, one of the conversations that we had was, let's talk about what the current state and what the future state of managed services looks like. And I know that, Cam, you know, you have, and again, thanks you guys for all the comments here. I appreciate it. I know that you guys have a lot of thoughts around what the future looks like inside of ESAT. So why don't you give me a little bit about ESAT, and then let's talk a little bit about some of the things you're doing.
Course, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know ESET and the brand, we've been in the market for technically about 37 years, and we've been in the channel for most of that. We are channel dedicated and focused, and we see a ton of value in it. So whether you're a VAR, a VAR, an MSP, CSP, whatever the terminology is, our goals as a cybersecurity platform and company and community is really to serve our partners, the people who go to bat with our brand and believe in it. So, we're very excited when we're able to create unique partnerships with especially emerging, exciting RMMs, PSAs, and tools that the MSPs specifically are asking for. So, we're really excited about that. I think, when we get down to value, value can be defined a bunch of different ways. There's the technical aspect of it. How do I, automate my business a little faster? How do I simplify? I don't really want to use the single pane of glass phrase, but I guess I will say it in there. But just reducing what is needed to not only operate the business but show actual value to the customers. So when we're able to do stuff like that with other unique players who have a similar mission, it's amazing. So I'm really excited to be sitting here right there, or right now. So.
Yeah, and that's the whole point behind, I think, why partnerships are meaningful. I think back to my days as an MSP, and one of the things that, again, I was always looking for was deliverance in our conversations and looking for ways that we're actually going to partner together and be able to deliver value together. And, having a conversation with ESET was very interesting, and thinking about the way you guys are actually looking at approaching the market. What is the real reasoning behind what you guys are doing and some of the innovations that you guys are bringing into your business? And I think it's really, really awesome to hear. So let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, SuperOps and ESET, we have partnered to actually do a couple of things. First of all, this technical integration, but one of the things that I think a lot of MSPs don't pay attention to is some of the integrations that are out there. And one of the things that we focus on is that smoothness in terms of how we integrate with a partner. And, obviously we've just taken the first step, which is just the first step into getting you guys into the platform and making sure that we're actually able to do the things that MSPs need. We'll obviously be working more and more with ESET to actually dive deeper. But when we think about the amount of time it takes in certain integrations, for those of you that are MSPs out there in the ecosystem today, you recognize that there's a lot of time that's taken between switching between panes and moving on. And so one of the big things is that making sure that you're not wasting a lot of time inside of the platform. And so when we think about the things that you need to be doing from a platform perspective, we want to make sure that it's saving you time. And that's really one of the things that we did in this integration, was try to figure out how to save you time. And so with that, I want to make sure that, when we talk a little bit about you guys inside of your platform, the whole ethos around, solving problems and cybersecurity issues is trying to reduce the amount of time that it takes to resolve an issue. And so when we started thinking about this partnership and looking at, okay, inside the platform, here's how this should work, and inside of your platform, how does this work? Can you talk a little bit about how you guys are saving MSP time in terms of, their operations?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a basic level, what we've done is we've integrated our solutions to where you can deploy your point solution, some more advanced type features. And, essentially the mission was, let's reduce the time, let's give that back to the MSP so that they can spend it, with their clients and, on their business. And so, I think from the basic level, there's basic need to be able to get the products on devices fast, get them protecting and watching and responding to any type of like real world threat that might be occurring. If you're able to do that and then, go the step further and then show value to your clients, then, you've achieved mission one, right? You're actually able to show them what you're doing for them, but using a tightly integrated solution so that you're not going all over the place to make your people work harder, right?
Yeah.
You always hear from the technicians first, like that's who's really like driving the conversations. Go integrate with these guys, or I'm having problems with these ones. And so, our mission is to make it smooth. We want to be in alignment. We want the experience to be good. I think ESET, one of the real big value adds too is our support. It's phenomenal. If there ever is a question, an issue, whatever, there's so many different ways to get a hold of us so that we can help resolve and, again, reduce time, because the time spent is not profitable, right? You know that as a previous MSP.
Yeah, and it's called I call it a death of 1,000 cuts, right? Most MSPs chalk up this miracle time to this lost aspect of time to admin time. And when you look at that, and that's often because we're not, being able to use the tools effectively to track the time that we have. And so when the systems actually can do it more effectively, the more reality and the closer we get to profitability. And we talk about this often as two metrics, right? Time to revenue and time to profitability. And one of the things that we focus on is trying to get MSPs to revenue and also making sure that we get them to profitability faster than anyone else. And that's when we start to measure like how we look at our partnerships and looking at the problems we're solving and the ways that we're doing it. And so, I know that obviously that creates a unique value, which obviously at the bottom line is profit. Mm-hmm. We talk about value and we think about the things for the future. One of the big things and I like to skate to where the puck is going. Not only just when I was building my MSP, but even now thinking about, okay, what do MSPs in the future need, right? They need profitability and they need new value equations for their customers. How are they positioning themselves in the future as a modern managed service provider, right? And so in that case, I know that you guys have some unique value propositions that you guys bring to the table outside of just the security lens as well. You want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys are doing on the technical side, and then maybe we can stitch into the other pieces?
Yeah. I think from a practical side, using the integration, using the tools, that's one thing. And, you have to get set up and get set up for success fast. So, one thing that I really love for our partners is our deployment and upgrade service. So, specifically, that's a few hours with our pro services team. We're actually taking you through the ABCs of how to deploy, how to protect, optimal policy setting and configuration setting, so that way you are actually setting up the security product to do what it's intended to do. Yes, things are automated, things are pre-configured, but I think understanding why and the how, that's the value, because then that is something that can be taught within, to the MSP, to their team, and that's something that they rarely forget, right? They want that upfront help, and we do that through a white glove onboarding service. So when you sign up as a partner with ESET, you actually get that included. We don't actually charge you for that. So, that's kind of against the market grain. I think a lot of people, and, it's not a good or a bad thing. They want to monetize for their time. And we do that too. But, there's certain things that we just feel on the enablement side, especially on the technical, we're trying to reduce that time to revenue and profit. And again, make that alignment to the rest of the tool set. I think one big value that partners will understand is the security education that we give. And so, this is not a productized type of conversation. This is we do a lot of threat research, and we're very proud about our approach to security. We're preventative. We really focus on what if you actually didn't see the occurrence, the threat against your network. And so, efficacy is a very important thing. We see this in, physical tools, and definitely on the digital side. And it's no different. Why should we settle for something that's just going to alarm and tell us what's going on? No, we need to be ultra preventative. So, ESET, a lot of people don't know, but we have 11 threat research centers around the world. And, that's not something everybody has out there. And so I think the other thing is they're placed in some pretty hot zones close to threat actor groups. And so this allows us to be close to the fire and close to the stuff that's happening and evolving. And so it allows our researchers 24 hours a day to kind of get ahead of that stuff. And it is absolutely a differentiator for us as a company, because we are constantly learning. Like, we get flooded with a lot of good information as a sales organization, as a technical organization, marketing, and that allows us to go and have those conversations as well with our partners and point them to the resources that can kind of help them out. One really, really good one, I always have to plug this, is We Live Security. This is probably, it's an amazing website. And so a lot of the threat research that we're doing that goes into our monetized threat feeds that we actually sell to the market, a lot of this information we actually give away for free. So we publish articles pretty much every day, whether it's a short one, a long one, a threat report that's going over a long period of time, or something that's analyzing a forward ahead kind of look.
Nice.
It's just amazing info, and it's for everybody, whether you're B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. This is stuff that's going on, and there's something there for everybody. There's nuggets, but I always call that back to, in the onboarding process, those are the kind of resources you can take as a business owner and as a service delivery team, and then you can start incorporating that into your QBRs with your clients, and they love it.
Smart.
It's the sugar on top, and they're like, oh, you did all the basics, but then you brought me this other free resource, and like, I actually subscribe to this now. Get feeds on my phone. It helps me stay, ahead of this stuff. And then when we have conversations, like, we're in more alignment. Like, I understand a little bit more of the landscape than I did before we got together. And that's true value. That's bringing value to to your customer base.
And I think you have to think about those things when you're thinking about becoming not just a trusted advisor, but the trusted partner. Right? Mm-hmm. I have to move past just giving you advice. I have to move into the future. I have to move into the more, intimate aspects of being a true partner in a MSP/customer relationship. And so I love that you guys are actually helping with that, because I know that our community often asks for a lot of those things in terms of, hey, do we have any resources that we can share? So appreciate you guys actually thinking about, how do MSPs need to be activated? What are some of the education aspects? And I think everyone saw it during the pandemic. Most MSPs realized that we became educators during that time. And so now we have a new nuance of educating business owners across the globe about their business and the security and complexity and all the regulations that they need to also work with and to comply with for their insurance requirements and whatnot. So I love that you guys are actually helping them down that path. But I know you guys, we were talking about this earlier and how you're activating MSPs. When you think about the education piece, that's amazing. Would you think about, when the buyers are buying in the current ecosystem, if you looked at the new state of the MSP 2024 research study that just came out, the number 2 thing that they were interested in was cybersecurity. The one thing that customers said in one of the big buyer summaries for 2024 was, give me relevant information. So when I pair these 2 things together, when this is the most pressing thing, and here's the this is how I want to consume, how do I actually connect the dots, right? Because obviously we've been, as MSPs, and again with SuperOps, one of the things that we're focused on is trying to empower MSPs to be more than just problem operators, but business operators, right? So like even the platform, the way we're thinking about it is not necessarily like getting back in and just turning it. It's like, let's use the technology to make us better, faster, smarter, and more profitable. And so in that case, you guys are activating in a new nuance, and you guys have a couple of different interesting approaches. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you're doing to activate MSPs and helping them create profitability and actually helping educate the customer outside of some of the things you were mentioning?
Yeah, definitely. I think this gets down to the marketing conversation, and some business owners like to put their head in the sand, and other ones like to just go right at it. And
hey, I know there's some marketing people that I just love. And trust me, as a business owner, those are 2 things you have to meld together. And so I know even though it may seem like a necessary evil, it's a requirement, right?
Yep. Yeah, and it's hard, right? Like, so I get why. It's one of those like, okay, the technical challenge is one thing, but once I've sort of solved for that, now it's like, now's the business side of it. And, if that's not your first comfort, then it can be challenging. So, what we really try and strive to do is make sure that we can pair our expert marketers with, the onboarding partners that are signing up for the journey. So, we have different points of activation, and, that's on the technical side, that's on with the sales team, getting the pricing and packaging together, and then the go to market, right? But then how do I go and acquire new customers to keep my my funnel moving? But then also, how do I upsell on the existing set, and not just to make money, but to make them more secure? I mean, that's That's the first part of it is let's make them more secure, but let's teach them. And I think two things with ESET, right? We have a marketing automation platform that, we offer to partners at no cost as part of the partnership. So, this is a solution you'd normally have to pay for and probably a lot of money. And so I think that's a big value add for number one. What you can do with it is pretty cool. So you can take your own, contact list, and it's all, shielded, like we don't see that because we get it, we're the big bad vendor, right? But no, we're trying to work with you and your either cold list, warm list, existing list of prospects, customers, and we want to help you warm them up, wake them up, pay attention to you. On the existing customers, we just want you guys to talk more. Yeah. We want to help with that. So there might be a gap in the middle where a business owner would come to me and say, I want to have a close relationship with my client. I want to teach them. I want them to trust me. How do I do that? And it's like, really, it's just communicating more and like keeping the relationship intact and going. So, with this platform, you can load in different content. If you want to put together a newsletter that you wrote, or you want us to help you write one, security content. Like I said, there's a bunch of free stuff, but we can curate other items that you can drop in and market out to your wide list of targeted prospects or customers for those various reasons. Like, I want to go tell them about something that's happened in the market. I want to tell them how I'm solving it, and I want to tell them how it's going to help their business and reduce the time spent worrying, because that's what they're doing. They're worrying all the time, just like you are as an MSP. Right. So how do I make them worry less, you worry less, and then that will translate hopefully into more buyers and more consistent buyers for whatever technology you're trying to apply in their environments. So, there's always the technical aspect, but that's just like product layering to make sure things are tight and secure. But then it's really just about communication and being in front of them more. Yeah. And then that just kind of builds that trust. So, our marketing platform is amazing. It's something where you can set up and put in webinars as well. You can do a webinar. We can do one. Yeah. We can do one together. It doesn't really matter. And, we do a lot of white labeling for MSPs. Like, we get it. We want to celebrate and promote your brand, not our brand. It can be a powered by ESET if you want it to, and that's fine. But it can just be a powered by the MSP, and so I think that's kind of unique,
Yeah, I would say, a lot of MSPs are spending a lot of time, money, and effort. And I go to conferences often and speak about sales and marketing and improving your brand awareness and building that trust within your customer environments. And so many of them struggle with, what is it that I do, right? And what is it that I'm trying to position into the future? And the fact that I don't have to, and again, it's such an honor to be able to partner with a company that is empowering MSPs, like, because you're a cybersecurity company, you're not a marketing brand awareness company, but you've taken the extra step to kind of get outside of the lane and say, look, we recognize that this is a challenge and we can actually build that value for you and at least build that mutual value. So again, kudos to you guys. And again, I know that our community is going to love some of that. So for, our SuperOps community, for those of you that are listening today, definitely you should take a look at that, because if you're paying for a third-party marketing solution right now, you might want to just, take a look and see what ESET's got going, because I think that might be interesting.
Absolutely. And, margins are margins and all that. We have competitive margins, but, I think when we're talking about value, like, ask those questions. We have a very extensive partner program guide, and, you can do two things. You can either not read it, or you can look through it extensively, because there's so many good things in there that, one ask that I have of our sales organization is that they're taking their partners through that and giving it to them constantly, even if it's like an existing partner, because maybe we missed something. Maybe we have something new in 2024 we didn't have in 2023. We're already discussing some very exciting things for next year, and how can we level up? Like, we are always our own critics, right? And we're like, okay, how can we provide more value? How can we make it easier? How can we make their brands bigger? What do they want to do? And it's like, maybe increase the valuation. Maybe you want to exit one day, right? So
absolutely, you got to get your EBIT up.
Exactly.
And that's where I think, when you take a look at, the nuances of the partnership that we have, it wasn't just about the technical aspects of it. It was more about the approach to the MSP ecosystem and really supporting community. So again, kudos to you guys for that. That's really very synergetic with our approach. And again, thank you for listening to the MSPs that keep asking, because I know that that's a product of design, and that it's probably something your customers probably asked a lot for.
Sure.
And so, one of the big things I do want to say, and again, thanks to you guys for that, we're here at Exchange, and we're having lots of conversations. We mentioned earlier, we shared some pie last night, and for all those MSPs that are looking to get a piece of the pie and some action and some revenue, this is definitely something that you should take a look at. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. You guys got to, if you guys want to take a look at on the ESET side, if you guys want to take a look at SuperOps, go to superops.com/ESET. And I know that for those that are going to superops.com looking at the ESET integration, if you go to our marketplace page and look at our integrations with ESET, you guys can find a little bit more. Do you have a link that you want to share with the group as well?
I think the easiest thing to do is visit our partner page. We feature all of our RMM, PSA, and other tools that we integrate with, so you can easily find, information on our programs, our products, our integrations with SuperOps right from our website there. But yeah.
One last thing I want to talk about is just how we're enabling our partners. And, obviously we're very focused on our partnerships that we have. Obviously, ESET is a tried, true, trusted brand. And thank you so much for trusting us with your customers, and we're trusting you with ours. Yes. We definitely see that there's a value here outside of just what we've built. But again, we're building this for the ecosystem. And when I think about partner enablement, obviously we've talked about a couple of things. Obviously, building the future-focused RMM PSA with cutting-edge cybersecurity vendors such as ESET. Is there anything else you want to talk about from a partnership enablement perspective that you think our listeners here today might gain some value from?
I think, really getting into our community, right? Like, so, we go to a lot of these things, yeah. And, we're trying to represent ourselves at a lot of different channel events and even end customer events. But I think it's really just, picking our brain, and, we want to approach you, obviously, and it's not just to sell you something, but I think as either an existing partner, we're here to engage with you. We're out in the community, and we want to do more and more of that. For anybody who's not, that's got, curiosity about, well, how can I get involved? How can I sign up? How can I just consume free information, whatever? Ask us. We're a wealth of information. We've been doing this forever. We have very talented people on our staff, and it's not just a product line. It's like I said, there's the threat research aspect of it, and we're really a services company with products layered in. I think really, we probably used to market ourselves way the other way, and that's okay. It's the evolution of our company where we went from point solution to, okay, well, we do a point solution, we do 2FA encryption, we have a managed detection response service on top of our XDR that, is probably the hottest thing talked about in the market right now. And we're proud of all those things. We can kind of teach you how they work. We've had so many conversations this week where we'll go up and it's hey, I need an EDR. Well, we have an XDR. Well, what's the difference? Yep. Well, yeah, it's an extension of the tool into different areas that you need to be concerned about. And so it's really just general education. Well, if you want, we can talk a little bit about that. And then I can tell you about our service and our product if you want. But I'm not trying to hard sell you. I just want to make sure you're shopping for the right thing and you go in educated. So I think with partner enablement, it's prospect enablement too. Yeah. I'm looking to have a long-term relationship and partnership with somebody who is interested in including or not just ours, but a good security solution. Yep. Product, service, the marketing aspect of it. Well, we want to bring everything to you. So there's a lot of value. There's a lot of points on the journey of partner activation, enablement, and then ongoing maintenance and education. And so, we're really trying hard. We want to be in front of our partners. We want to meet with you. We want to educate you, and we want to help bring value and get you to that higher revenue, higher margin line, right?
Well, and again, obviously SuperOps being an all-inclusive RMM, PSA documentation, network monitoring management platform, along with, all the other pieces that MSPs need, just got a little bit better with our new partnership. Absolutely. With ESET. So Thank you so much, brother. Course, it's just an honor. Yeah. For those of you that want to learn a little bit more, we have a very awesome, wonderful webinar that's coming up. And I think you're on it, right, Cam?
I am, next week, yep.
So if you guys want to dive in November 5th, come join again. We're actually going to do a very technical deep dive. I'm going to have the product team on, and we're going to jump into this thing and talk a little bit about how we're making MSPs' lives that much better. So again, thank you for the partnership, and thank you guys for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. We look forward to the next one. We'll see you all soon.
Thanks.